You step over the threshold and into a memory. This place, this bar, the center of the frozen world. Old schnapps and the faded sour cologne of body odor and bleach. Soft yellow light filtered through cracked shades. The rumble of the ice machine. A hissing television. Exactly how you remember it. Favorite den of Keesok's local pelota squad and their partisans, as well as a certain disgraced spy of the Operant Bureau. You discover your thumb rubbing itself along the numberless business card you found on your double. You glance towards the bartender, a younger woman you don't recognize, darker skin and sandy hair, carrying a soft scowl. The best part about this place is that it's open all night, every night. Its doors are always open to you, as they are now. In the machine aisles is a lineup of smokes, candy, and canned coffee. The packet makes a satisfying thunk as it hits the well. If you change your mind, they'll still be here, dormant in their artificially chilled chamber. On the wall above, mounted like the taxidermied head of a bull moose, is a toilet. Scratched and yellowed porcelain, a notable smudge on the lip of the sea, brownish. Do not entertain further investigations of what the smudge may be. It's safe to assume that you don't want to know. From across the room, the bartender notices your gaze and the expression on your face.
Don't worry. The smudge on the rim is just blood. 83. Keesok versus Recreación. The referee sent Peña off on a bullshit call. A riot ensued, as per tradition. Someone ripped a toilet right out of the washroom wall and chucked it at the Recreación supporters.
Keesok's pride, the moment it all peaked, when all the madness and meaning in the world swelled into one glorious, unstoppable wave. They were just blowing off steam. Bit of a brawl never hurt anyone. Countless injuries were reported in the aftermath of the incident, and 2 fatalities confirmed. The bartender gives a small, approving nod in your direction. An older man, heavy-set, looks up as you approach. On the table next to him is a large plastic box. An accordion hose runs from the side of it and disappears between his shirt buttons.
Operator, bon of you to drop by. Though a bit earlier than I was expecting.
It should be said that you've never seen this man before in your life.
No matter. You're here now. That's what counts. some reputations precede. I heard a notorious spy had escaped from the freezer and was running amok in theater. Had to see for myself.
This man must be part of our welcoming committee. The gang's legend spreads far and wide.
Now here you are, in living color. Cascade, known to some as Herschel Wilk.
Your stomach tightens. Predator, caution. You might still be able to play this off.
Come on, operand. Stupid games are beneath us. Let's get real. Sure. I was a sock importer once or twice myself. Of course, that was before I became a null entity. These days, I'm just sad old man in an ugly shirt, killing time at a gaudy Bellator bar.
No entity. The Operant Bureau's preferred name for those it would rather forget. His shirt is very ugly, it must be said.
But my sordid history's not the subject here. It's you everyone's asking about. Old friends, professional critics, big-time players in the international organ market. All kinds of stuff. They were asking, has she figured out her assignment yet? What's going on with her double? Does she still have it? Thrilling questions all. But mainly, they're concerned about your heart. Straight to it. Fine. Let's be blunt. The opera have dropped you in a river of shit. Maybe I can help you get yourself out of it. This thing? No. This is just the plastic box that keeps me from shaking the Manus Fati.
Gentle electronic tones rise and recede from it like the tide against a digital beach.
Last I heard, the original article was sitting on a desk in a third-level sub-basement somewhere in Nevessa. Story for another time, I'd say. More like a private joke that went a little too far.
A hiss, followed by the frantic clack, clack, clack of a microfiche reader. High contrast negatives hit the back of your retinas. 58. Collapse of Ile-de-Serres' Grand Bridge. 60. La Plage's royal family liquidated. 63. Suppressed uprising in PR Yothi. 67. The Agora minor blackout. No direct attribution possible. Cross-references simply point to one figure, skipping in the margins of history. Cryptonym redacted. Date of birth redacted. Nation of origin disputed. Joined the opera late 40s. Declared null entity in 69. The microfiche reader clacks a final time, settling on a monochrome picture. Beneath it, a nom de guerre. His fleshy cheeks pull his mouth into just the slightest approximation of a smile.
Warms the heart to know people still talk about you when you're not around. I've been called many things, operant. Cool isn't one of them. Stick around. You may have a chance to find out.
The box hisses. He puts a cigarette out in an empty schnapps glass. Suprema 100, like the ones your double brought.
This was your old haunt, was it not? See why you're drawn to it. Spacious, decent sightlines. Noisy enough to make bugging impractical.
At this hour, the bar is nearly empty except for the hardcore alcoholics. And yourselves, of course. Meanwhile, the bartender washes a few glasses in a tiny sink, looking up every now and then towards the television.
Yes. This place will do. Our temporary office. Long as we're both in Portofino, of course. As I said, wanted to witness your return to live action myself. Just because I'm bereft of official existence doesn't mean I can't keep an eye on the younger generation. Maybe pass along a little practical wisdom here and there. Verdict still out. Doesn't even seem like you made it as far as your unfortunate double. Almost like you made straight for the bar. Interesting approach. Strappy coat, glasses, look of sorry bewilderment, gastropod, something like that. That bad, is it? He looked rather lost when we last spoke. Need to work on your deceptions. If I still had a heart, it would have pained me to hear that. Unfortunately, that seems to be the modus these days. Chiseling hunks of frost-burnt meat out of the freezer and tossing them straight into the grinder. Must be a better way, you'd think. Better grab a couple of sticks and start rubbing. Gets dark and cold here. You're gonna need it if you want to make it through the night. It? That ineffable, inexplicable quality essential to success in theater. Frequently discussed, rarely demonstrated. Depends. Do you want to grab reality by the face, tear off a false skin, and stare into the abyss of stars inside her skull? There was a time when someone believed you might, seeing as they trusted you to set up the opera's last Portofino network. Didn't turn out so hot, if reports are accurate. And yet, here you are, back on the scene. That suggests your it levels haven't totally flatlined. One of the most difficult questions in it studies, driven more than a chair of operants and math prodigies to stark, raving insanity. Given that, the consensus seems to be better not lose it in the first place. Call it your look of haggard perplexity, assuming that's not just your normal expression. You've been out of the action for 5 years. I've been in this game a long time. Picked up plenty of neat things that could be of interest to you. Take a recent sample. One of your enemies has set up a secret jail somewhere here in Kisak. Strike a chord. The rich one. Emter.
Emter, aka L'Empire Sans Territoire, aka The Bank. Equal parts Global Development Fund and Spy Service. Linchpin of the developed world.
My offer is this. I share with you a little from my wall of shadows. You help me with some personal research. Because I've been in a few, and set up a few others myself. Went the wrong way then, I'd say. Bazaar southeast of here. Maybe this rendezvous was a bit premature. Tell you what, let's try again once you've gotten a bit more up to speed. I recommend Carmuna, personally. Runs a second-hand clothes stall right by the canal. Terrible gossip. Never heard a secret she couldn't wait to spill. I'll be here if you want to talk more. Forewarned is forearmed. Take your pick. We're nominally in the developed world. That's Emter's home pitch. By that same token, Portaferro was a Lusian penal colony for a long while. Some people think the Weeping Eye are lurking around every corner.
Leluz, once a powerful empire, now reconstituted as a modern techno-fascist state, the rising military and cultural power of the day. The Weeping Eye, Leluz's secret place, the dark subconscious of the state. He flicks his thumb, as if flipping an imaginary coin. He makes no attempt to catch it.
The techno-fascists are really treating the place like they own it again. Operating out in the open like that suggests confidence, I'd say.
He takes the disc and adjusts his glasses to get a closer look.
Two things stand out. First, this is an unusual format. Einzelton. Not just standard consumer fare. Question for a disc vendor, I'd say. There's a misanthropic one around the bazaar. Ask him. That right? Solid stagecraft, I'd say. The artist, Ultravioletta, the Lusian electro pop singer, gone missing, so they say. I guess not. Fresh unshelved as you are. Ultravioletta is quite popular, especially in this city. You but from a dream. No, nothing at all. Only what's in his red folder. Do you want to hear it?
With a great sigh, the man leans back in the booth and closes his eyes.
Novessa born, graduate of the Polytechniker. No partner or dependents, of course. Father was a noted cosmonaut, taught life sciences before his recruitment. Cryptonyms are never so arbitrary as they're meant to be. When it comes to names, the mind demands something that sticks. Stiglitz. Tomas.
The old man's eyelids flutter as he continues.
No remark-worthy sexual tendencies, high attention to detail, a mild allergy to his own sweat, occasional flashes of grandiosity. That last point may sound familiar. You were chosen because his skill sheet was thought to complement your own. How that translates interpersonally, more for you to say. Spoken like one who doubts or doesn't recognize her own hand in things. And recitation. Local television personality, though his accent suggests origins in the People's Republics. Lavendy, I'd say.
The PR Lavendy, the less socially developed neighbor of the PR Kohila.
Obviously a lunatic, an addict of some sort. I'd keep my distance, were I you. He's got a glorified rat hole in the housing campaign. Calls it his Fortress Studio. Across the rooftops, I think. Please, Operator. There's cavorting with the genius loci, and then there's wrapping your mouth around a raw sewage line. That said, he's got tens of thousands of regular viewers. Not bad for public access. No such thing in my experience. Till next time, Operand.
Under a thick, curved screen, colours rip and tear into each other, making it impossible to make sense of what is currently playing. A discoloured bloom of interference mars the corner of the screen, tinting the dancing mascot on the sidelines purple.
Oh, yeah. Pro typos are garbage. I suppose I'll buy a new one. Again. Nothing lasts anymore. Enjoy it while you can. I'm trashing it for a new one as soon as the next shipment comes into the bazaar.
The television is a cheap Lusian knockoff. These things start falling apart as soon as they're lifted off the assembly line. All things can be fixed, with enough time, effort, money, will. The question is, do you have any of those? Television may be dusty and broken, but it is not yet its time to go to the scrap heap. Salvation is possible. The TV continues to rip open the colours of another dimension.
What do you have? Friend of yours? He was here a few days ago. Seems to have come in to have a chat with your man over in the corner booth. No, I don't think we have. I'm Lucia. What brings you back? I know how that is. What do you have? It's on the house. You can pay if you want.
She spritzes an astringent cleaning fluid on the counter and buffs it to a dull shine.
Sure.
The percolator has kept it warm, but not hot. Somewhat bland, not recently brewed. Overall, serviceable.
So, here to meet your friend? Over there.
She gestures towards an older man in a booth. His back is to you.
Strange. He said he was expecting someone like you. No. That's a display of Kisok generosity. He said you were in the same line of work. No. Close by. I grew up about 5 minutes from here. If you're born Kisok, you never really leave. You know why they call it Party Alley? It's Calle del Partido, from when we still had El Partido Comunista. They built the plaza around the Palace of Culture, not the other way around.
The bartender doesn't acknowledge the gesture.
This is about it. But it's mostly just me in here doing all the work. Takes it out of me. Yeah, we have a couple of kids who come in and clear tables. Sometimes I let them serve, but they're unreliable. Haven't you seen it all already? Thought you used to be a regular. Probably. The Bootleg Bazaar, Beetle Tract, Palace of Culture, the Miracle Line. Cheap tat is usually popular with tourist types. Directly south of here, next to the docks. Listen for the crowds. Look for the stalls covered in tarpaulin. Lot of people lived there until it got bulldozed to build Sweet Nestor space program back in the 70s. Abandoned now, of course.
He fled to an unknown location after being exiled for the third and apparently final time, though a small collection of loyalists await his return.
Not much. Nestor built it during his communist period. Building's still impressive from the outside, but it's been falling down slowly. You can find it at the top of Party Alley. Don't tell me you're in Portofino for the phone sex. Must be a close acquaintance. It's a 24-hour sex line. Free. Paid for by... who knows? Yeah, well, the catch is you have to do it in public with a handful of slimes watching. I suppose for some people that's part of the appeal. It's a payphone to the west of here. It overlooks the water. You'll know it from the group of excited old men nearby. Have you bar-backed before?
Hesitation, as she's caught between a need and a worry.
Fine. I can throw you some soul off the books. I just need you cleaning, bussing, nothing complicated, okay? Here. Start with wiping down tables.
The rag squelches in your hand,
oozing grey-brown foam as you glide it over recently vacated tabletops. You dunk the cloth into the tub of lukewarm water behind the bar, but it dirties again within seconds. Dunk, wipe, over and over.
Hey, it's been 4 hours. Take a break.
Stopping is almost harder than trying to keep up with the work. Your mind continues to race, looking for things to wipe, unable to stop.
You definitely helped. Thanks. See you.
The bed welcomes you for a soft. The anticipation of a decent rest pulls you towards the pillow.
Bad news. The fax machine has not fixed itself.
You're a spy, not a service tech. You turn away from the fax machine. You pick up the payphone's handset. A dolphin emblem smiles at you, its eyes wide. The emblematic animal of Portofiero's main phone company, Reno Tower. Your gaze wanders away. The dolphin doesn't seem to mind at all. Your finger depresses the yielding material. Up, down, up, down. Sensual pleasure. You watch the dolphin pop back up, then squish again under the changing pressure of your finger. You lose track of time as you repeat the action. You do not yet have the number of anyone else in this city. It's certainly possible, though any benefit to doing so is unclear. Don't start wasting your time with prank calls, operant. There is only one, Melita, your controller. She'd only tell you to get on an aerotram back home again. A direct order which you have so far disobeyed. The number is a lifeline to you, always there when you need it. The Reno Tel Dolphin eyes you expectantly.
Hello and welcome to the reality situation. Before we begin, I just need to check. Is your line secure?
Fuck.
That's a joke, obviously. No line is secure. Your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, are not secure. Consciousness itself is tapped. The call is coming from inside the house. Now, what aspect of the situation did you want to ask about? Salute.
The receiver clicks back into place. The Reno Tel Dolphin eyes you expectantly. The phone rings as you stand in wait. After a while, it becomes clear that no one is going to answer. You place the receiver back on its cradle. You tap out some numbers devoid of reason or form. Surprisingly, the phone starts ringing immediately. Could be anyone about to pick up. A total stranger, their life intruded. Your breathing is amplified by the transmitter held at your mouth. A clunk. You hear the ambience of another room. An exhale. Then something wet being chewed on over and over. No words. The person on the other end just keeps chewing. Another exhale. The chewing continues. In the background, the creak of wood. An aging door used only by the wind. A half grunt that reveals nothing. Suddenly, the line goes dead. They hung up. The receiver clicks back into place. The Reno Tel Dolphin eyes you expectantly. You step away from the payphone. Silk number 3, the old silk factory, once the pounding heart of the city. Pseudopod had a purchase order from a vendor called Carmuna. She must be in here somewhere. You also have that curious red disc to hand. A media specialist could likely tell you more. Bagman gestures wildly on the television screen. This is the ad for the reality situation you've seen before.
I know about the Boers. I know about iodine. La Luz's invisible aircraft carriers. Weaponized nostalgia. Microbial microphones. Lunar obfuscation programs.
What else are they hiding from us?
Find out what I know by tuning into the reality situation. Airing until they shut us down.
The sounds from the commercial fade. Loose stitching and cheap fabric. The odd cotton hemorrhoid erupting at the seams. Soft animals, mostly stylized blobs with little regard for real anatomy. There are brand logos on the sides, non-uniformly misspelled or upside down, but recognizably the same. Zoo Textile Laluz. Boneless flesh bound in impossible colors, twisted into seductively pleasing shapes. Brazen political threat. The pile declares that this too is the future of the working class. Defanged, fuzzy, sold in a heap. The different species are all numbered. Number 1s are bunnies, number 2s cats, number 4 an anatomically unviable whale. There are no number 3s. There isn't a number 3 in the whole furry ensemble. Fuck off. Has to be. Root it out. You said yourself these plushies are sinister. What shape has breached containment? Inside you. Nothing. Yeah. Still hunting. Plushie 3 has shredded the social contract. Plushie number 3 is you. You turn back to the bazaar. You step back to the tower of 100 strong. If only they could move as one. Soft animals, mostly. You turn back to the... The fire exit stands conspicuously ajar. Someone has wedged it open with a ball. Nobody is paying any particular attention to the door, or seems close enough to care. Suspiciously nonchalant. It's a pelota ball, the local variation of handball. Pelota balls are not designed for use as doorstops. Someone has elevated this ball to contraption status. It's just a ball in a door. A dark hallway. At the opposite end, you can just make out the bottom of a metal staircase. A fine place to hide in a moment of crisis. Marked and remembered.
You pocket the ball and close the fire door firmly. The fire door is still tightly closed. The door sits flush inside its frame.
He's going to melt his head.
On the TV, a giant wolf-like creature stands up on its hind legs and howls. Its fur bristles gold. Dangerous, mythical, electrifying. No wonder the kids are watching this. Suddenly, the beast roars and light floods the screen. It's followed by a wet, pulpous sound.
Ecstatic Wolf is awake. Wolves. It's 66 wolves, and it's our favorite thing in the whole world. It's about a girl who has 66 chambers in her heart, and each one contains a wolf. And the wolves came out to make war with the angels. Each wolf has a special weapon, and they have super violent special attacks too.
On the screen, a headless lupine figure, standing on its back legs, shakes violently. Blood pours from its neck as flesh reknits itself.
That's Loathing Wolf. Another wolf cut his head off because it's the tournament art. But he didn't know Loathing Wolf can heal fast. Loathing Wolf's not even strong, but he can be scary. Yeah. It's the best show. And it's from La Luz.
The words La Luz make your shoulders close in, as if bracing for a hit.
Everyone loves it. Some of the grown-ups like it, even though it's a cartoon.
Notice that the broadcast is in Mercian, not Lusian, dubbed for a foreign audience.
Don't tell that to the music man. He hates it.
A neurotically organized stall, about 10 meters west. A morose man stands there obsessively cleaning a disc-like object.
Yeah, him. Well, maybe he should stop then. He says he won't sell the music discs because it would poison our brain with sonic excrements. Well, maybe. But it won't change his mind because he's a loser. I don't know any. Do you know any, maybe? Wait, I remember those. From when I was little. There was one with puppets arguing a lot, and another with a green cat who was also a thief to help people. They looked old and ugly. Mom said she watched them as a kid too. This is so much better. Death to puppets. It's the place where they make all the cool stuff. It's not like here. I bet they even have flying tuk-tuks. And also we have cousins over there.
Some Portoferans refer to Lusians as strange cousins, a nod to this island's colonial past.
We don't really know them. I asked Mom if they could come over one day, and she said it's hard because La Luz is so far. What's that?
Perhaps you should let children be children.
Oh, okay. Maybe if I don't forget. Can we just talk about the wolf some more? It's Pathos Wolf's flaming claymore.
These kids are lost. Their hearts belong to technofascism. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Check out those LEDs along the blade. Note the reinforced hill. This isn't some cheap knockoff. It's a genuine import.
No, It's one of the real ones. He means it's not from the bazaar, but from La Luz. Our aunt bought it for him. You can ask. We know everything.
The angel Canopus cursed her before she was even born, because of her mom.
It was vengeance. No, now she serves Canopus in her war against the other angels. There's Deneb, Polaris, and Razzlehog.
Razzlehag is gay. He's the gay angel.
Shut up. I like him. And that's not how angels work.
They all have their own powers. Ultima Wolf.
But Ultima Wolf only appears when times are most dire.
Your tongue runs along the familiar edges of your canines.
Well, the last time Ultima Wolf appeared, she burned a village of women and kids.
It was sick.
Grieving Wolf. When she plays her harp, even the angels cry.
She also ate Nabia's sister while they were all locked inside Nabia's heart. She didn't kill her sister. She ate her.
That is not her fault. Zealous Wolf. He destroyed the moon with his gun hammer.
His gun hammer was forged by the Elder Wolves.
Yeah, he did it to get back at Polaris. That's his mom.
Zealous Wolf is only part wolf. That's why he has wings.
Polaris forced him to join her order of Dark Seraphims. She's too strong to fight. So Zealous Wolf tricked her instead.
You can't be an angel if you do a stellar sin. So, whoosh.
Do you have a gun hammer? I don't believe you. If I had one, I'd carry it everywhere.
It's easy. You just have to memorize their names. I did. Zealous Wolf, Tyrant Wolf, Raging Wolf, Reviled Wolf, Stoic Wolf, Fear Wolf, Pity Wolf, Yearning Wolf, Sensitive Wolf, Hysteric Wolf, Ecstatic Wolf, Passion Wolf, Tender Wolf, Sorrow Wolf, Insecure Wolf, Grateful Wolf, Seething Wolf, Psycho Wolf, Gentle Wolf, Numb Wolf, Bitter Wolf, Lustful. But that's only like 30.
She doesn't care. Adults are boring.
Sure. Zealous Wolf, Seething Wolf, Dream Wolf, Venturous, Shy Wolf, Jubilant.
There's so many more wolves. Mom says it's good we spend time outside. Not really. They only come out when she gets in trouble.
Or when they get hungry. If she doesn't feed them, they try to devour her heart.
The phantom weight presses on your chest as you picture this girl, waking up each day to a world of wolves and monstrous angels.
Your friends want to devour your heart. My friends are nice. No.
Then her heart would be empty.
And the story would be over.
You can ask us about whatever.
No, remember what Mom said. Okay, you can ask some stuff because there's people around, and I can scream real loud.
It's been years since you interacted with children, so a reminder. Be nice. Be normal.
Yep,
Doing well enough so far.
odd. Like, how odd?
Brains lie, guts don't.
There's so many accents here. The boat people have their ones, and the music man, and also Carmona.
We know Malan's dad is missing. She's been really worried. That's her, with the costumes and glitter stuff. Her dad's missing because a phone ate him. And that's all I know.
The music man wears glasses, and sometimes double glasses. It looks dumb.
She doesn't mean him. He's been here since forever. And he doesn't wear suits. Why aren't you at work? Well, we don't need socks, so... And there is no school today anyway. Or tomorrow. That's how it is now. We have 2 weeks of school, then 2 weeks of nothing.
Antonio's mom said it's because foreign politicians. He's my friend. He lives on another houseboat. No school for 2 more weeks. Yay.
Since 2 years. I remember, because I helped Arla with the alphabet.
Shut up. I knew the letters already.
But it was only 1 day a week at first. And then our teacher said she had to help other schools. So now it's like this.
Antonio's school doesn't open anymore. He's so lucky. I wish ours was like that.
Don't say that. Mom said we might go to the one in the sunset, but she didn't seem sure.
A bourgeois district in the northern parts of Portofino.
No, we do loads of stuff. Like watch TV. Sometimes I go to the canal with Antonio and the others.
We have homework. I make sure he does his. But it's not the same. That's really nice. Maybe it'll be okay.
I don't want to talk about dumb school anymore. Can we talk about anything else? Mom's at home. We live on a boat.
We don't know him. Mom didn't have fun with him. But that's when I was really little, so I don't remember. Yeah, Mom is all we need.
She's awesome.
Okay.
My sword? But it's my sword. I need it. How long?
I have a watch. It has a calculator on it too.
That watch is 5 minutes slow. Her tech has failed her.
Our aunt got it for him for his birthday. He can't just give it to you. If you want it, then it has to be fair. With honor. When Dreadwolf met with the legendary Smith Kuro of the Grey Fang tribe, Dreadwolf didn't have coin. So she traded her Eventide pendant that she had since she was a pup, so Kuro would make her a dagger.
The Phantasmal Stiletto. It's so sick.
So you have to offer something big, or else it's not fair and he keeps the sword.
The children ignore you, entranced by the television.
The man gazes down at a crate of cartridge discs, eyes narrowed, lips drawn. Veins rise like old roots beneath his thin skin.
Mass-produced excrement. These animals pleasure themselves in it. Collectors, art students, tourists, tote bag owners, the whole dim herd. You see this? Each one guaranteed for 10,000 replays. Obscene.
Elitists like this come in two varieties, audiophile or cultural nostalgic. This man is definitely the latter.
That's right. Most people can't tell the difference between a base pleasure and a higher one. Imaginative faculties dulled by senseless repetition. Forgive me, friend. I'd mistaken you for a common replayer.
This is the highest compliment he's paid to anyone in months, maybe years.
Too much to ask, I expect, that you're a fellow Einzelton aficionado?
Einzeltone, no entries found, and no point trying to pretend.
One of a fast-fading few. Go ahead, browse away. My name's...
The vendor's eyes narrow behind his orange lenses.
This is a media store, not the missing persons division. Also one of the GMs with questions like that. I try. So most of humanity fades into an indistinguishable morass of banality. This colleague, what does it look like? The sock boy. Dialectical-looking glasses. Air of advanced virginity. Yes, he came by here. Little communist lost. Adrift among the many wonders of the free market. Well, viewed it might be a stretch. Let's just say the man was definitely mobile. Your dialectical friend mistook himself for some sort of big money businessman. He wanted the bazaar to import superblock hosiery. Socks to start with, but there was talk of cotton tights, even stockings if the venture took off. No. And to be honest, I wouldn't have wasted the stock. He seemed immune to music. You're joking, of course. He didn't even know what a velo disc was, let alone an Einzelton. At a certain point, I'm just debasing myself. Of course not. I don't sell socks. So is he all right, your man? Or what? Yes, yes. We are all so well intended.
The vendor gauges you behind his colored lenses, tongue skimming teeth. All across the city of Petra, there is silence. People peer out fearfully from the slivers between curtains.
I'll be blunt. Are you with a weeping eye?
A fresh injection of fear. Primal grade. Such insult. The depressed reactionary has mistaken you for your direct opposite. Your sworn enemy.
Because they've been especially active here recently. Usually they just let things slide. All the Lucian merchandise, good for everyone. But these days, they're staring right at us, unblinking. If you ever expand to ears, let me know. My point is, your colleague was asking questions. Now, something's obviously happened, and here you are, also asking questions. Given the current climate, no one wants to answer these questions, least of all, me. Then I would attempt to educate, obviously. I'm not some kind of street hustler, friend. My merchandise is mega premium, the best this side of the big blockers. I'll tell you what I told your sock friend. Speak to the boatman down by the West docks. He's the one who knows the underground goings-on around here. We're just the vendors. The cool one.
In his baroque hierarchy of shame, being cool falls just under being a replayer. Whatever that is.
Excessive sunglasses. Relaxed aura, likely on a boat. No way of confusing him. Wonderful. Now for all our sakes, please say no more. If you want to talk media formats, I'm your man. This other stuff. Strange how? Format or content? Esoteric formats, you say? All right. Let's have it. An Einzelton XR. Where did you get this? Einzelton hasn't been available to regular consumers for a decade. A disc in good condition is worth thousands of sol to people who appreciate its wonders. You played it? Filthy animals. Those. Better they recalled them all years ago. Better a mass manufacturing fault than this, to save them from this humiliation from being passed around like...
The vendor deflates before you.
I'm sorry.
Talking to the Einzeltone, not you.
Ultravioletta's a pop singer. Degenerate Lucian electro-dross. There's a new fabricated star every day, it seems, but she's the top of today's pile. As for the title, probably the works of a brain-dead marketing committee. Lucky you. The fact that it's committed to Einzelton suggested some kind of promo copy. Some new advancement of degeneracy from across the Nos Correntes. Of course it's real. You can't bootleg an Einzelton. Another of its enduring qualities. This Ultravioletta's gone missing at the moment. Kidnapped by counter-fascist radicals, whatever that means. Lucian marketing plot, if you ask me. Don't try to brighten my day. Optimism is slow-acting poison.
The vendor looks at the red disc and runs a thumb over its surface.
None of this is the Einzeltone's fault, of course. They can't control what gets seared upon them. I'm afraid it's not. No more potential, only anti-potential. Replayability is oblivion. The end. You seem to have misunderstood my soliloquy. It's done. No mass. The beauty and the tragedy of the format. I hope you dispose of it with dignity. I think a private ceremony would be most appropriate.
Your mind blanks at the glare. These things are single play only. Anything else is sacrilege.
Yes. Yes. Very great. Only doctor I know is Hugo. Has a houseboat not far from here. Shelves are over there. Mostly crass replayable formats, but such is the degenerate society we live in. You'd like to hear more? A magnet embedded in the disc erases its contents as it's being listened to.
A technological muscle flex. Reproduction and erasure just millimeters away in space. Milliseconds in time.
As in life, everything happens only once. Replayability is oblivion. The end. Correct. It erases acid plays. The inherent idea being, of course, that you never play an Einzelton and have a more profound experience because of it. Some say that was the intention behind the red color scheme. A warning, so you would never misplay it. I think it was an aesthetic choice, personally. With Einzelton XR, the first time is the only time. It loses its resale value, and the uninspired replayer who listened to it loses a piece of their soul. Oh, yes. Completely. Though they'd have to have been pretty soulless to play it in the first place.
Mystery solved. Pseudopod listened to a priceless tape and lost his soul.
Remnants. Zero remnants.
Pretty esoteric term we've got here. Just roll with it.
The aftermath of a magnetic charge once you take the field away. The Einzelton magnets are so potent that the erasure is absolute. The X is meant to represent the negative, the complete absence of sound or vision. This was a very conceptual time for storage media, you understand. It was a very beautiful time, too. You can imagine the use cases yourself. Rental markets, promotional copies, that sort of thing. The technical origins are trite.
Espionage potential, immense. The burn after reading function built into the medium itself. It would spare many an operant the stomach pains associated with having to devour documents to dispose of them.
Its deeper purpose is simply to exist, to remain in a rarefied realm of pure potentiality and infinite beauty. Don't forget, we too are single play only, erasing ourselves moment by moment. What do I look like to you? A common replayer?
There's that word again.
Oh, so you're a semiotician now. I own several. if the word ownership applies to such a delicate relationship, but I would sooner molest myself than an Einzeltone XR disc. I judge you to be a woman of culture. You should understand the inherent value of Einzeltone XR.
Can the one true format really be reconstructed? Isn't its singularity that which makes it true?
What? Please stop. I'm well attuned to people mocking me. Picture a dog that shits, then eats it, then shits again. That should give you some idea. People are what they consume. I'll say no more.
It's less an opinion, more a criminal sentence.
I thought you might, my friend. Sick fucking world. Still, we persevere. Or at least we persevere to persevere. Culture. Portophiran. Scrapped. This new Lucian mania is all-consuming. Nobody wants anything that isn't techno-fascist trash, including, apparently, their own souls. Yes, well, I'm sure it must seem that way to someone from the jungles of wherever you're from. Anything we once had has been consumed, overwritten, digested, and shat out by loops. And the worst thing is, we know it. We just don't care. The culture blockade was designed to prevent this. But now anyone with the wits to create anything new just spends their time devising ways to get past the signal blockers and access Lucian drivel. The whole thing's a myth anyway. Failed project. Most of the crates I get from Luz come stamped by the Ministry of Mass Culture. They want it all out there.
This merchandise isn't smuggled at all. They're government sanctioned from the Lusian Cultural Ministry.
Financially tolerable. Morally abhorrent. Every day there's new formats, categories, each one more depraved than the last. Of course, I can't say that out loud. Custom, you know?
Can the one true format really be reconstructed? Isn't its singularity that which makes it true?
What? Please stop. I'm well attuned to people mocking me. Well, there was a certain period in the early years of Portophiran independence when everybody on this cursed island was holding their breath waiting for La Luz to invade. But nothing happened. Instead, a few years later, the radio signals began coming in. Pop music, radio operas, later television shows. And here we are, on the front line, spreading our ears and legs wide open. I can't be sure, but I have reason to believe the media they let reach us isn't even the same one they broadcast to their own people. It's made for us.
Export-only propaganda. Imagine what they reserve for domestic consumption.
When the city caught on, they put up the signal blockers, but it was too late. Hopelessly. Like heroin addicts, but with no chance of rehabilitation. That's what I'm here for. That would be preferable to the truth of things. There is no politics to it that they can see. They just want something they can idiotize themselves with. You'd think we had run out of brick walls. Provincial, but honest. Silk, sad national poetry. Music, the same kinds they play in the so-called developed world, except a couple decades late and desperately effortful.
Fuck this. You want blood, dopamine, wolves.
Yes, exactly. Nice. That's why I'll be here, enjoying the front row seat to the downfall of culture. That is my punishment. Taste. Yes. It's not like talking about it will make any difference. Sure.
A filthy flyer glued to the wall. A row of bespectacled men stare into the middle distance, while in their midst a lone figure looks towards the viewer. A man with a brown paper bag on his head. Above him in bold letters, the reality situation. Yellow text in black and white. Tune in, everyday coverage, and in all caps, they did it again. The Subcommandante salutes you. The People's Bureau of Entertainment would never allow something this anarchic to make it to air.
Hold on. You know what could use a little more reality? That big blank wall next to your bed.
It's been adhered to the wall with blue reusable adhesive. Sticky, easy for quick installation and removal. You're able to get it down and rolled up without any difficulty. You step into the booth and press. You step away from the The Guardian Municipal officer is intensely scratching at his neck. As you approach, he wipes his hand on his trouser leg.
Hola, miss. Hope there's a reason you've stopped an officer while he's on duty. No better place for that. Officer Morito, agente coordinador for the Guardia Municipal. Do you need help with anything? I can tell you Petra the music vendor's a major arsehole. I asked him about an old Blood Golem disc, and he told me he'd rather tie polystyrene blocks to his feet and jump in the canal than look for it.
Doesn't make sense. Why not go for something that sinks?
I told him as much. He said that was the point. His demise should be slow, so that I'd hear him scream for hours. I don't get why he brings up all this violent stuff all the time. If he ever goes through with it, there won't be any shock value. It'll just be sad. Blood Golem is a band. blood golem heals all wounds. It's the sound that raised us from shit-crusted upright apes into humans. The antithesis of blood golem, that. Sounds more like primitivist folk trash. Blood golem might have been banned where you're from. Their post-sludge is too revolutionary for most places. Primal, filthy, slow, all ending. Like an army of giants growling underwater while smashing cliffs together.
None of these words make any sense to you, either singly or even less in combination.
As a matter of fact, too powerful for most Portofirans. It's like nobody cares about our own music anymore. Or art, really. We've had instances of theft around the docks recently. All the crates were ripped open in strange ways. Anything and everything. Seems like the work of kids, if you ask me. Must be trying to scare people too, as weird noises have been heard at night. Screaming and howling. Apart from that, it's quiet. Just how I like it. The quieter, the better, I'd say. Really, the hardest part's keeping people away from the boars. That's the big one. You're lucky then. We've been dealing with an infestation for weeks. Back ways are full of them. How bad does it look?
A smeared pattern with streaked edges. You can rule out natural irritants.
There is this topical boar repellent I've been using. Instructions said to apply generously. An era was hoping it'd help. It used to be a seasonal problem. Every autumn, some adults would come down bold and hungry. But lately, it's more of a permanent residency. The hills up north, as far as I've heard. Valle de Suspiro. You've got thorns, ferns, old trees. A nightmare to patrol. At best, they're a nuisance. The little ones are fine, but the adults could take off a kneecap if you're not careful. And then there's the really big one, the mother. They don't seem so bad if they're alone, but they're never alone. Get 5 or 6 together and they can take down a grown man. Oh, 100, 150 kilos? Easy. Enough to stop a tuk-tuk going full speed. But even they got nothing on the mother. Massive. Furs all matted, covered in scars, territorial too. Preys on drunks, stumbling back from Party Alley. Tusks, claws, knives, bullets. Take your pick. Every few years some brave moron tries to take her down, but she stands undefeated. You got a weird glint in your eyes. Let's not do anything stupid, all right? You back away, slowly. If you get a whiff of it charging, find something to climb if you can. And then, come find me.
As you step away, the GM returns to scratching his inflamed skin.
Hello again. What'll it be? Alright. I need you collecting empties, soaping up, rinsing, drying. Got it?
You scoop a pile of empty glasses into your arms, lugging them through the crowd and back to the deep industrial sink. The trick you find is to just go slowly and wait for the drunks to stumble out of the way. As soon as you've got them clean, another table beckons you to collect another set. They seem to wave to you from every angle, always asking, no, demanding your attention. Somehow it is. There are no more glasses to gather. The patrons have cleared out. Another 4 hours have passed.
That was a busy one. Nice job. See you.
The brightly coloured cans and cigarette packets seem even more vivid upon your return. If you change your mind,
Bad news. The fax machine is not fit. You turn away from the...
I'll print. I'll be here if you...
You return to the desk. You turn away from the desk. You return to your double-splayed, upturned body.
peeling wallpaper hangs above your bed, uninspiring. Faded patterns, a great void of expression.
A shadow from a passing aero tram crosses the wall momentarily. Bagman watches on approvingly as you secure his position. You step back and survey your decorative efforts so far, paper on paper dwarfed by the enormity of the void that surrounds it. You've been starved of art, of colour, of life for 5 years. It's more than nice. The wall feels less dreary as you turn away from it. The bed looks cold and dishevelled. You turn away. Daylight spills in from the window.
I'll print.
That's understandable. It's been a while since... Head south, and you're guaranteed to find it. It's just east of the roundabout and west of the backways. Leave the bootleg bazaar from the west entrance, then just keep going. Eventually you'll hit water. You'll want to stop then. Hardly. It's just around the corner. Walk west a ways, and you'll find yourself right in the plaza. Of course, Oprin. That's understandable. Of course, Oprin.
I'll be here if you...
The sour scent of urine surrounds the vending machine. Luckily, the beverages inside look fresh. The packet makes a satisfying thunk. The piss smell waves goodbye to your nostrils.
I can do this. I can take you on. I'm your man. I'm your man. I'm your man.
The middle-aged man cranes his neck to look at the top of the pylon. You can see the blue fabric of a worker's uniform under his high-vis vest. A familiar dolphin logo on his shirt, peeking out above his arm.
That's right. I'm a Renault man. A certified Renault repair technician.
That thing he's carrying has got buttons. A little antenna. That's a grade A thingy, all right.
None that I know of. Which reminds me, I really should get around to registering for a GP.
It won't do him much good. His body's reaching the point where aches and pains are par for the course.
You'll have to be more specific. Seen a couple of guys who match that description. Not that I pay much attention to them. I don't think I'm tall enough to see other men's bald spots. They're quite common as well, you know? The uniform of all those type of men. You'll have to give me something else. Good point. It's been a while since I saw them. Long enough that I don't remember where. Right you are. I can tell you that it's Renault's longest running and top performing fixed line. Must be just over a decade at this point. It's actually the last payphone in Portofino to still be running the old way. Now they've all gone wireless. The line cannot go down, not even for a second, which means it cannot be serviced or upgraded. First thing they taught me when I joined.
A single thread. Fraying.
The reason being, or so I've heard, is that Renault would incur a bill of such whopping proportions that it could risk the whole company going under. Maybe it's not, but it's what people say. The unrealized loss, they call it. The company's big secret, gnawing away at its foundation like a rat in the shadows. No, that kind of thing isn't for me. It's just part of the job to know about it. Make sure it stays operational. You know why now.
He really wants you to believe that.
It's the old payphone along the back ways, west of the docks. Sure. Of course. Sure. Oh, it's just me trying and failing to do my job. Again.
A feeling you know well enough.
It's embarrassing, really. I'm overqualified for this position, and yet I can't even do the simplest tasks asked of me.
What he says doesn't add up. The logic is broken.
Really? It's often a trivial issue with them. A part slightly out of place or the paper's jammed. I wish that was the extent of my problems. I'm hired to perform any necessary maintenance on the arteries.
Technical words that only mean something to those with the prerequisite knowledge.
I can see that, yes. Well, the wireless phone network is routed through electronic boxes called arteries. They work like the old terminal boxes, except there are no cables or wires. Renault has been upgrading its payphones across the city. They pretty much all run on wireless signals now. rad, isn't it? We can send telephony data through the air now using radiophonics. Renotel is developing a range of products with this technology, including portable phones, intercoms, headsets, and cordless scanners. The owner of Renotel, the rich guy at the top of it all. The company is named after him. Imagine being the one man in charge of telecommunications across the city. I think he's a liberal, actually. Yes, one of the old terminals. It's a terrible tangle of cables up there, but I can handle that. The part I'm struggling with is climbing up this ladder. I'm acrophobic, one of my many fears.
A man stood on a cliff's edge, constantly expecting even the ground to fall from under him.
Oh no, you really shouldn't. Not only is it dangerous, but qualified Renotel technicians are the only persons permitted up there. It's complicated, not something I can teach you in a day. Lots of things. Primarily, it picks up wireless networks, radio frequencies, and electrical signals so you can track their source. It would be more relevant to my experience, but I'm retired from that sort of work at least.
Old technology is one of the few places the past can still be touched.
I wish I could say that, but it's an integral part of my job. Not a lot, unfortunately. I do collect magnets, though. That's probably the most fun thing about me.
Sounds like our man here is missing out on having a gang to confide in.
It's a lifetime hobby. I always carry a few around in my pockets, so I can see what surfaces they will stick to. Oh, well, that's good to know.
Your obsessions and secret passions have saved you more than once, and may yet again.
No, I didn't. Fascinating. I wish a magnet would erase parts of my life.
The disc blooms like ruby flowers in the reflection of his lenses. He looks to the distance, at the city skyline as it's drenched in white light from above. The steady mill of pedestrian traffic and the squawk of a seabird fills the uneasy silence between you.
The city. I've barely taken it in. Ever since I got here, I've been wearing a veil, hiding myself, not knowing who I am or what I am doing. There's still time for us to figure it all out. We're in this together, me, you, and everyone else. It might be a forever task. Anyway, enough doom and gloom.
Even if he doesn't like it, his position gives him purpose, direction. Sometimes that's enough.
Where to even start? I'm scared of heights, wild boars, drains, tuk-tuks, teenagers, the moon. You haven't been there.
He doesn't answer, at least not with words.
Pretty much. That's part of what makes this job so hard. I take some reassurance in knowing I am not alone in my struggles. I've had them for about a decade. I only had one or two at first, then slowly acquired more and more over the years. Scared of that too. Yes, so am I. A terrible thing to live within the ruins of the self. But we keep going any way we can.
It's not so bad when you've got your gang to back you up.
Same as everyone else. Mining cadmium, lithium, and other rare minerals. In my case, on behalf of the Illuminated Empire, La Luz. Not for any good reason. It hardly supports life, but is all too ready to offer up a drawn-out death. I saw much of it out there.
Burned to the inside of his eyes.
Statistically, there is more death happening around us here, but it is much crueler on the moon. Perhaps because the spirit is divorced from its home soil and cannot so easily return. It's what gives me hope that one day I will find peace. Of course, it makes the encroaching inevitability of my own death easier to deal with, too. As do I. It's a comfort to know that I won't have to travel hundreds of thousands of kilometers through space, at least. Very much. It's fairly peaceful. And I've always been quite fond of seafood. Though I will admit, I'm getting a little bit sick of shrimp. If we must. Very much.
As you depart, the chant of "I'm your man" starts back up behind you. A slanted aluminium box is bolted into the pylon's spine. The word Renotel is etched into the metal. A familiar dolphin grins at you. Inside, a slab of beige plastic, an old terminal. Behind a clouded sheet of polyglass, the screen remains black. No buttons on the outer housing that you can see. No glowing standby light. Your fingers find a steel drawer. It slides out with a creak, revealing a keyboard designed for gloves, each key a chunky slab. A low wavering whine. Behind glass, the cathode ray tube flickers once, twice, then flashes white. System waking. Please wait. Mem check 00016 KB. OK ports. Com1, Com2, AUX, trunk. Diagnostic mode enabled. Welcome to Renotel Control version 1.2. Copyright 87 Renotel. Enter command. Available commands: 1. Line diag. 2. Trunkmon. 3. Network. Based on the available options, this is a maintenance terminal. You might be able to get information on the Renotel network from here. So the name suggests. As for what kind of diagnostics, there's only one way to find out. You know, for monitoring trunks. Only one way to find out. You know, for...
The terminal clunks, as if it's exhaled. Based on the available the screen flickers, awaiting your input. Line diagnostic mode. Enter landline identifier to proceed. Line ID. The machine's internal speaker beeps sharply. A random array of numbers line up in horizontal formation across the screen. It achieves nothing. The screen flickers, awaiting your input. You close the box.
Oh, you're back. None at all.
As you depart, the bad news. The fax machine has not fixed itself.
The holy innards of the facsimile machine reveal themselves to you like a sacrificial animal waiting to be interpreted. You're looking at a Sugar Hill Executive Series 2, a cursed model, plagued by numerous debilities, most commonly a chronically misaligned paper tray.
The machine is silent. The amber light blinks.
From the machine bowels comes a pleasing chunk. As the plastic tray slots back into its receiver, the paper belt purrs as life is restored.
Much better, thank you.
The small green light marks its status as ready.
You turn away from the fax machine.
The fax machine awaits all image quality.
You turn away.
I'll print.
Nothing, I'm afraid.
I'll be here if you require.
The bed looks cold and disheveled. You turn away.
Bagman gestures wildly. The sounds from the
Hello again. What'll it be? You mean reunion, all of that. I try not to think about it. Spreading the light of techno-fascism by annexing all the old Illuminado colonies. They think we're theirs. If all you know of Portofino is the bootleg bazaar, then you don't know much at all. There's no sense in worrying. It will come. The only question is when. I can't pay you any more today. The boss will ask questions. Anyway, night's starting to wind down. I've got this. You have choices. Sure. See you.
The toilet is still hung on the wall above the bartender shrugs. The stall has been left unattended. A haphazard arrangement of paperbacks and hardcovers that have seen better days. A handwritten sign teeters on top of one of the stacks of books. Books 10 sol. Magazines 5 sol. Place money in the box. Viva la comunidad. Relic of the district's more communitarian heritage. A few scrawled tags separate the various teetering piles into vague sections. The faintly sweet smell of old paper tinged with an unpleasant hint of mildew. Depends on how much you enjoy predictable pursuits of serial killers, variably through occult forests and the urban stage. Unfortunately, the stall's offerings look pretty bare. Nothing catches your eye. By far the largest collection, you see a wild range of material, from an anti-aging guide to a series of books all by the same author, Vitor Kampf. A prominent Lusian philosopher whose works have occasionally crossed over into international interest. Doesn't seem familiar. He gazes back at you from the cover, darkly handsome in glossy black and white, with the far-off look of an old film star. Underneath it is stated, the philosophical bad boy for our times. Many people are attracted to the mind rather than the body. By far the largest collection. There are no medical textbooks you can see. You flick past the foreword, written by a prominent plastic surgeon, and into the table of contents. Soy and you, smoking, the real enemy. Are the injections failing, or is it stress? Why you should drink more water. But what does Mother think?
Absolutely not. Even by the most generous medical recommendations. Nothing to that effect is written here. Instead, backed with a ton of evidence, the book simply states that smoking gives you wrinkles. Congratulations. You've been thinking about it though, haven't you? Maybe you have. Maybe you're ready to start resisting at long last. The large collection of self-help books almost seems to reach out to you, begging to be useful. A large space is allocated to the genre, but most of the books have been taken. Only a few worn stragglers remain. One of them doesn't even have any pages, just a dust jacket. A shelf of scuffed books are united by their preference for black and apocalyptic reds. On their spines, a series of grandiose words large enough to fill the universe. Two of the titles stand out to you above the others. Light March of the Chosen and Greed in the Interzone. Pulpy space opera, not at its finest. The characters are heavily stereotypical. The plot is erratic, and there are spelling errors on nearly every page. A bunch of religious cultists travel through outer space in search of what they believe to be their god, that end up being swallowed by a planet. Totally. It's a shame the word planet is mistyped as plant on the final page. Despite its dull cover, it seems to be an outright attack on the current state of reality, realized as an adventure through a futuristic city that thrives on depravity. A notorious Lusian novelist and heroin addict. The author photo shows her sat on a disheveled bed, about to jab a needle into her arm, biting a tourniquet wrapped tightly around the target limb. Between all the gay sex, violence, and drug-taking, there's a serious point about how we're being held back by the unfettered impulses of the ruling class. It's not much different to a modern-day city, except the laws are much more lax, and what would be considered immoral now has become fairly normal. It seems everyone in this society is too busy being sordid to develop any meaningful technological advances. If anything, he would object to labeling it fiction. The book resumes its place among the others, its degenerate content perfectly camouflaged. Hundreds of printed... You return. Despite its dull... The book resumes. Hundreds of print... You flip through the stack of slim, staple-bound periodicals. Faded fashion catalogues 6 years out of date. Softcore adult mags, a gun magazine, and a lot more. Most magazines tend to be, especially those that people donate to a project like this one. Once you're done with the sections here, you'll want to go through those big, unsorted piles too. Could be something premium in there. By touch, think high grammage, silky finish, the kind of stock used to sell disruptive perfumes to the upper crust. The more recent issues focus on the emergent Lusian styles. The oldest among them feature Portaferan clothes, local-made textiles from the famous silk factories.
You do the honest thing. Nothing changes in the world. One cover catches your eyes. It depicts a leather-clad man, looking intensely grim with a large sword on his back. A label warns of ultra-violent content. The Hombre, Volume 5, Issue A. Sirius suggests the cover is a bloody piece of glass held to your enemy's throat. It's cutting demons with a chainsaw. There is nothing more serious than the Hombre. You do the honest thing. Nothing changes in the world. You flip through the stand. Ouch. You catch your finger on an errant staple. The magazines bite back, resisting your futile effort to separate them by their value. You turn away from the piles of books. The bed welcomes you for a soft slumber. The stillness of the room quietens your mind as you settle down. A low-budget clandestine publication, somewhere between fanzine and paperback. The author's name is listed on the first page as Ji Cheng Wang. As it must be. This is a genre of literature neither written nor consumed by respectable individuals. It consists of some 60 pages of text, followed by an appendix with cut-out schematics for the body of the gun. Ostensibly a how-to guide, it doubles as a philosophical inquiry into the subject of firearms ethics. Headlines like Chapter 4, Your Last Chance to Stay Legal, and Chapter 7, Your Conscience and Me, immediately jump out at you. Firearms good, ethics bad. There are times in the conduct of human affairs when it becomes necessary to wang someone or something. This is a reality. There are, however, some preliminary considerations to disseminate. You would too, if your name was synonymous with death. Are you asking yourself whether you should or should not use the information in this book to build yourself a highly illegal firearm? Alas, there are many such decisional pitfalls in our world. It goes on extensively, the tone veering back and forth between sardonic hand-washing and outright murder advocacy. Probably not. Do you want to? Wang is the theory,
and Wang is the practice. The instructions specify materials for a 6-shot pipe gun with push feed. 500-gram hard plastic melted down, 1 coin 10mm diameter, 1 broomstick or wooden dowel, 1 aluminium can, tools, glue, and plywood. Ball bearings. Yes, and it is up to you to scavenge it all. Best place to start would be Photo 24. There's gotta be some of this stuff lying around there somewhere. It's a working photo lab after all. Dotted lines mark the edges of 3-dimensional objects unfolded into rectangles and curved flaps. While unintelligible, the form of the gun lurks somewhere inside those shapes. 2 objects. The larger one is a mold that goes around the barrel and includes a crude grip, magazine well, and the outer part of the bolt feed mechanism. The smaller object is the bolt. Building it will be the test of fire.